Still with power matters, Treasury has now given the green light for the city of Cape Town to produce surplus energy procure surplus energy from businesses and residents in the metro. For more on this, we can speak to Cape Town Mayor Geordin Hill-Lewis. A very good evening to you, Mayor. Grateful for your time. You and I spoke about this when you were first trying to get the green light from Treasury. Let's now go back and talk about how it's going to work.
Yeah, I remember that conversation, and it is now nice to come back and be able to say we have got the green light from Treasury and it now can work. And the way it will work is that people will register to feed back into the Cape Town grid from their solar systems at home. They will be paid, and if they want to, they can either run up a credit against their municipal account, or they can get paid in cash by an EFT. And that way, I hope it will make a difference for many people who are really on the edge of whether to do this investment or not. Should I get solar panels? That this will tilt the scales in favor of doing it. Not that it is anyone's going to earn a massive living out of it, because, homes just don't have big enough roof space to do that. But that the income that they will get will tip the scales in favor of making the investment and getting the solar.
Practically, though, how does it work? Do I then, if I were a resident in Cape Town, say to you, listen, Mayor or the city, this is how much energy I've got, this is how much I don't need, how much are you willing to pay? Or I would understand, in fact, I understand that the rate is predetermined, correct?
Yes, it has to be predetermined. That's the way that we got the permission from Treasury, because there really is no competition between houses for how much we pay for the electricity. The product is absolutely standard. Every bit of electricity, every electron is exactly the same. And the price is standard. We set our feed-in tariffs. We publish them publicly. And so you know what you're getting paid up front.
You'd also have to install an advanced metering set of equipment installed by the Metro, and I was reading earlier, and you in fact responded to this tweet by the consumer journalist Wendy Nola. That comes at what, 11,000 Rand a pop? So not everyone would be able to do this at this early stage.
At the moment, that's the cost. It's far too high, and the reason for that is it's quite a kind of serious, I suppose, piece of machinery. It's actually a three-phase meter that's meant for factories and really big roof spaces. So we'll leave that for factories, businesses, shopping centers. They will need that three-phase meter. But we are very close to finding a much cheaper option for homes. It doesn't need to be quite as fancy and as robust. It does need to be reliable and safe, of course. And so, as soon as we are happy with the product, we'll announce it, and then that meter should be probably 50% cheaper at least.
How sustainable will this be, though, as an intervention, when you consider that the load shedding situation in the country is already so fluid?
I really think that this is the future of power in South Africa. I think that in the years ahead, we will look back on days when South Africans didn't have solar power and think, well, it's amazing that we ever relied on this one enormous company to do it all for us. This is going to be the way of the future, a much more decentralized, much more competitive energy market. Eventually, people will be able to sell their power to a energy market maker, and then the price really will be competitive. If you are prepared to supply us power in the evening peak at 6 p.m., we'll pay you double for that power than what we would pay you at midday when we have got excess power in the grid. That kind of future is coming. The revolution, the renewable energy, the small-scale generation revolution is coming. And this is an important step in the right direction.
This is South Africa, and we have to ask you, how do you protect the system from exploitation, corruption, basically?
Well, at the moment, the way that we do that is by publishing the tariffs up front. They're published in our annual budget, and no one can get any more or less than that. And so that is set for now. In the future, if we just have blue sky thinking, you will have a market maker, kind of like a stock exchange for power, and that market will be independently regulated, not by us. That's probably a job for NERSA in the future, and they will check that those spot prices are fairly arrived at and that there's no shenanigans there. But for now, that's still some way off. For now, we are just glad that people can finally in South Africa sell their power, and actually get paid for it.
Let me get your thoughts on the appearance today by Eskom management before members of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, the soon-to-be former CEO, Andre de Ruyter, saying that they believe that they can significantly reduce power cuts within the next 18 months, but caveating that with saying that to do that successfully, they would have to deal with crimes being committed at the Tutuka power station. With all of that in mind, how confident are you that the current batch of leaders of Eskom and national government can indeed get a handle on the situation within 18 months?
Zero chance. That's how confident I am. This is an organization where people are trying to put poison in each other's coffee. This is not a healthy, functioning organization. It is broken. It is beyond repair. It should be immediately broken up and as much of it really, sold off and dismantled as quickly as possible. That's the only way to rescue that organization. So I'm extremely admiring of Mr. de Ruyter's efforts to try and turn it around, but really I'm afraid my confidence is extremely low that it will be turned around by Eskom or by the national state. I think that we have to do it on our own.
There was also the consideration which we heard about over the weekend by Eskom management looking at a permanent, quote-unquote, implementation of stage 2 and 3 power cuts over a period of 2 years. Sikonati Manjanja, the spokesperson, saying, well, that's not a given. That's not what's going to happen. They've not decided to do that. But as things stand, if things were to go that way in the coming months, what would be the implications for the people of Cape Town?
That's a very good question. The implications will be very serious. The extended periods of load shedding are really hard on all of our machinery, all of our pump stations, our wastewater treatment plants, our water purification plants, our robots. Everything just takes unbelievable beating when it is switched on and off all day long. Even our cable theft, when cables are off without power for so long, we see a spike in cable theft. So that is not good news for South Africa at all. Cape Town will be able to shield its residents, of course, like we do, from at least one stage. We can always do one stage. Sometimes we can even do 2 stages, depending on how much space we have at Steenbras. But even that, even to have one stage of load shedding permanently and sometimes 2 stages, it's very damaging.
Geordin Hill-Lewis, Mayor of the City of Cape Town. Good to speak to you, sir. Thank you.